So today is the day for Kundalini, Yantra and the Mantra meditation. Nelly, have you been?
I'm totally new.
Good. Totally.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what is that. I mean,
Yeah. I conduct YantraMantra meditation today and Kundalini meditation tomorrow at the same time, and other meditation practices at other places. Anyhow, coming to meditation, so in 60-minute session, we will understand. I gave a brief talk on understanding the meditation, relating it to your life. Then we will practice meditation. We'll return and share our experiences. So, Nali, you have to share your experiences openly. As you have already understood, I was talking to Marina. That's how one progresses. And I can see majority of the people, 99% of the people, come to resolve their stress, suffering, maybe anxiety, or any problem at the personal level, at the professional level, at the social level. So question arises that how this practice of meditation helps us or manages the suffering or minimizes the impact of illnesses. Not many people are alert and aware and take care of the mental illnesses. Say, for example, you have a chronic fatigue, and that goes week after week. After some time, it may result into insomnia. So sleep disturbed, so you have hangovers in the morning, but you want to rush for your office. Here comes the anxiety. So it is kind of a vicious circle. We don't take care of those small issues at the mental and the emotional level that affects our life. Meditation and mind are related in one sense and totally unrelated. What we do in meditation with reference to the stress and the suffering or the anxiety, that we empty the mind, we clear the mind, we drop the conditionings of the mind that has led to our stress and the suffering. That is one aspect, that we drop anything that is negative in the mind through the practices of meditation. There are thousands of practices of meditation, but basic one. The second thing that meditation does, that it awakens you to the inner peace and calmness. So on one side, it drops the stress and suffering, because if it empties the content of the mind, then obviously those content has led you to stress and suffering. It drops, so your whole existence is absence, is devoid of the stress and the suffering. And the second thing, what we do in meditation, that in all meditation practices, we move the mind within, inside. So when you move the mind inside, you begin communicating with higher consciousness. What happens when we communicate with a higher consciousness? That higher consciousness is of the nature of peace, of happiness, and has the power to bring about a change in your mind. So obviously when I'm taking a group session, so I have to address a group in a more generalized manner, not in a specialized manner, that I do in a personal session. Having said and relating meditation to the stress and the suffering, what happens? What we do in meditation? All meditation helps your mind to move within, to live within, and awaken within. There are practices which demands focus. There are practices in which we use images, objects, mantras, breath. There are thousands of techniques. So this yantra and the mantra meditation that we are going to do today is from the Tantra tradition. Have you heard of Tantra, Nali? No. Have you heard of?
I think you told before.
Yes. Tantra tradition, which is 6,000 years old. We have more than 3,000 masters who lived before Buddha was born. And then we have more than 5,000 texts on the Tantra tradition. So those masters have experimented, validated, guided millions of the people. So this yantra and the mantra meditation comes from that tradition. What we do in yantra and mantra meditation, in the first 3 steps, we release the energy from the unconscious mind that is the cause of the stress and the suffering. If there is no negative content stored in your mind, how can you be into stress? If your mind is not thinking of having a jealousy or a hatred or a disliking or overwhelmed you are with some person in your relationship, how can you go into stress? But if we release the energy that is sucked up by these thought patterns, we experience a sense of calmness. Then the next 3 steps, we move into awakening the power of wisdom that lies within us, the awakening the power of love that is within us, and awakening the power of will that is within us. All the 3 forces harmonize themselves and awakens you to a new state. Just a minute, John of God, what you were talking about?
Are you asking me? It's a very interesting place in Brazil. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like a little village, and he actually the whole thing over there. You meditate over there for many hours in a special room. There's a lot of energy.
Okay.
And that's how he treats people from the different illnesses.
That is what is happening in the entire world. We have traditionally known how many? 8 plus Ashtadurga, Shodas. There are more than 50 different locations in India. The people claim they have a tremendous energy there, and if you simply go there, even you need not to meditate, you sit there as if you are covered by the energy and you are healed. And if that is true, if that is true, then let the medical profession should come to an end. Let everybody stand in a queue and sit over there and get rid of it. I visited all of them in order to understand. And I saw in the vicinity, in that village, people are suffering more than anywhere else. So don't be guided by your unconscious emotions. You want to give me even a single penny, you think twice, you think 5 times. Why not you think rationally when you want to help yourself? I have nothing negative against anyone, any place. I accept all. But very important question that I should contemplate, think that what exactly I'm seeking. I'm seeking that let me lie down on the bed and the food should go into my mouth. Everything happens. Somebody else should do something for my peace and happiness. It had never happened in the millions of years of human existence. It is not going to happen even now. It will never happen in the future. Unless you are ready. And there the power of meditation comes. I have nothing against anyone, but nothing happens if I do not choose to move into peace and happiness by myself. I don't want to stretch, lie down on the back. Let us start. Let us start. So why I said that you become responsible to yourself. Tell yourself, I want to live in peace. What prevents me to not to live in peace, and start working from there? That it is because that's what I said. You have to go home and think. What do you think? 24 hours? You know very well. I may say, so you know. But we don't have time to contemplate over the peace and happiness. Nali, keep smiling. We are not serious. Lie down on the back. Let us start with our today's meditation. Close your eyes and you are comfortable. How you become comfortable? Take your mind. Mentally feel the neck joint, shoulder blades are just on a line, and the hip joints, knees, ankles, toes. There should not be any discomfort in any part of the body. You know, from the beginning of the practice, I gave you a total freedom. But gradually, calmly, silently, we move the mind within. In that state, the first 3 practices, every step has 3 stages. The first stage is quick, active step of breathing. Second step is watching the breath, and the third step is doing nothing and reflecting the state of the mind, the mindfulness. So put both your hands on the chest, look inside the heart, and start breathing long and fast breathing into the chest. Let the noise of the breath come nearly. This is your first time. I'll be guiding you through it. Continue long and the fast breath into the chest. Yes, please continue. Long and the fast breath into the chest. Your chest expands and contracts. Chest expands and contracts. Chest expands and contracts. Continue. Do not stop in the middle. Even if you experience, the mind will say, no, it is too much. Nothing is too much in life if you are doing it consciously. And leave it. Bring the hands down. You may feel little lightness inside the head. It is okay. Look at the breath. Feel the breath. And do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. When the breath is going in, you feel the sensation count in 1. When the breath comes out, you feel the sensation and you count out 1, in 2, out 2. Go on counting the breath. Just counting the breath as if you are counting the cars moving on the road standing across. So in a way you do nothing and still you are doing something because you are counting. It is not that you don't know the counting. By counting we help the mind to engage, to live within. That is what we are doing together. Continue counting the breath in the state of the stillness. You may experience some tingling sensation in the body. The stillness returns in the body. You may feel some deepening of the sensations. It is good. Don't worry about it. You are in safe hands. Now even stop the counting, remain as you are. You get a glimpse of the mind begins moving within. It does nothing to the body. Body remains in that state of the stillness and the sensation. That is what we need to understand. Doing nothing. You're simply doing nothing in that state. Now put both your hands on the belly, on each side. Look deep inside the belly button and start breathing. Long and fast breathing into your belly. You inhale, belly goes up. You exhale, belly drops down. You hear the noise? That much is to be done. Don't worry now. Just go with the practice. Move, flow with the practice and you will see the result. Yes, continue long in the first breath. Continue long in the first breath. Yes, continue long in the first breath. Continue. That's good. Continue. Your mind will say, no, this is too much. Do not listen to your mind. You have come here to attend meditation session with me. Can you become aware of that fact? And if you become aware of that, nothing that can stop you doing the practice. And stop it, bring the hands down, do nothing, looking at the breath, feeling the breath. When the breath is going in, count mentally in 1. When the breath coming out, count out 1. We are not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. We are watching it from a distance. When it goes in, you count. When it comes out, you count. That is the key. It is why we are doing. We want to engage the mind to live within. What mistake you do when you are doing on your own, your mind is carried away by the thought and you take it for granted. Just by counting, the mind goes within. And there the role of a teacher comes. He observes keenly. He is always with you, and then he guides. That is the key point. And doing nothing. By the first 3 steps, we release the energy from the negative emotions, from the negative thought pattern, from the unconscious negative habitual actions. By focusing on the 3 centers. Now put your right hand on the belly, the left hand on the chest. Start breathing long and fast breath both into the belly and the chest for about a minute. First you inhale deeply into the belly, then into the chest. Exhale from the belly, from the chest, but it should be fast, noisy breath. It should be hissing breath. The noise and the hissing sound tells you and me that we are doing the practice correctly. That is one aspect. Other aspects that I'm dealing in every session continue. Long, hissing, fast breath. And stop it, bring the hands down, do nothing. We start counting the breath. When the breath is going in, count in 1. When it comes out, count out 1. In 2. You see that you are counting in the state of stillness in the body. You may begin experiencing the numbness, the tingling, the lightness in the head, and it is okay. It is good. And stop the counting of the breath, looking at the breath. Bringing the tip of the index finger and the thumb together with a gentle pressure. The tip of the thumb and the index finger joins. Eyes remain closed, no movement in the body. And the 3-pointed awareness of the breath. What is 3-pointed awareness? You are watching the moving breath going in and out. You feel the sensation of the breath that you feel when the breath goes in and comes out. And you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now we are making a journey within. In that journey, we don't move the body at all. The body has to do nothing. The breath is taken as a reference point, and 3-pointed awareness of the breath, no change. And now 4-pointed awareness of the breath. When the breath goes in, look inside the forehead in the space. When the breath comes out, look inside the forehead in the space. Now when the breath goes in, you're looking inside the forehead in the space at a point. Also see the triangle there. When the breath comes out, you see the triangle. When the breath comes out, you see the triangle. Let me clarify. You don't imagine, visualize, make any effort. If I ask you, have you seen the triangle, you will say yes. How do you know? Instantly your subconscious mind knows it. And that is what I'm saying you. When the breath is going in, you see the triangle. The breath comes out, you see the triangle. It's a symbol. It's a reference point. Look at this, that the mind is doing something and still not doing anything. The body remains still. You may experience the changes in the sensation in the body. It indicates the withdrawal of the mind. Now, the 6th point of awareness, when the breath goes in, move the breath and the mind on a triangle, as if the triangle is a tunnel in which the breath moves when it goes in, when it comes out. Don't confuse yourself. How do you confuse? You start thinking. I have to focus, I have to imagine a triangle. That is thinking. And when I asked you, have you seen the triangle? You don't think, you say yes. That is what I'm saying you. We need a different mind to move into meditation. That comes by practice, practice, practice. Breath in the mind moves on a triangle when the breath goes in and when it comes out. The mantra of the wisdom in Tantra tradition is aim. There are many other mantras, but aim is one of them. What we do in that state of the sensation in the stillness, when the breath goes in, the mind moves on a triangle. You see the one side of a triangle, you drop the mantra aim. Breath comes out, again you drop the mantra aim on one side of a triangle. The other two sides remain blank. And you see them, you become aware of them, you know them. Same thing, like we are 3 at present in the studio. I need not to think. I know it. Same thing. You know it. What? Triangle. Breath in the mind moves. When it goes in, drop aim on one side. Breath in the mind moves. On a triangle, drop aim. Now, drop to aim on two sides. One remain blank every time the breath goes in and every time the breath comes out. Are you changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath? No. Are you changing the position of the body? No. Why? We want to go take the mind deeper. The body and the breath has no role to play. And the more we become independent, the mind drops the negativity and it moves on the journey to awakening the peace. When the breath and the mind moves on a triangle, going in and coming out, you drop to aim on two sides of a triangle. Third side, you remain aware. It is like a newspaper vendor who drives the car in the morning and starts throwing the newspaper on each home. We have chosen the triangle, the three sides only. The breath continues to move on its own. Body remains still. And now drop 3 aim, one on each side of a triangle. The breath and the mind goes in, looks at the triangle, aim, aim, aim. Breath comes out, moves on a triangle, aim, aim, aim. Every breath going in, you drop naturally. As you simply count, there are 3 people. Now, same thing. Aim, aim, aim. Aim, aim, aim. We experience the mind living within, engaged within. We don't think, where is the peace? It comes on its own. Doing nothing, remain aware of the breath again, the 3 points. So we don't burden the mind too much so that it begins thinking. Looking at the 3-point awareness of the breath is going in and out. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath, and feeling the sensation. Now the 4 points awareness of the breath. The 4th point, every time the breath goes in and comes out, look inside the heart, in the space at any point. Casually you are looking. It's something you may experience. You are on a beach, and I say, look there. And you casually look. There is an infinite space inside the heart. The fifth point of awareness, every time the breath goes in, you see the triangle inside the heart. Breath comes out, you see the triangle inside the heart. And let the breath and the mind move on a triangle. Every time the breath goes in and comes out. Breath and the mind. The mind is sitting inside, the breath is like a car. The car moves on a natural rhythm. The mind is sitting in it. That is what I mean by breath and the mind moves on a triangle. Now, when the breath and the mind goes in on the triangle, drop the second mantra. The second mantra is Hrim. Breath moves in, the mind goes with it. On one side you drop Hrim. Breath comes out, the mind moves with it. Drop Hrim on one side of a triangle. Hrim. Don't worry if you even chant. Your mind thinks not correctly. You have to drop it, dropping, moving the mind and the breath together in the state of the stillness is more important. Hrim, the mantra is Hrim. Hrim, casually you drop Hrim. Hrim. Every time when the breath goes in and comes out, I'm not using the word inhale and exhale. The moment I use it, it means you have to breathe in and out with an effort. No effort. We learn how to engage the mind to live within. Now drop two Hrim, two mantra, on two sides of a triangle. Two Hrim when the breath goes in, two Hrim when the breath comes out. We consciously experience the state of the stillness, calmness, deepening of the tingling and the numbness in the body. They are good sensations, good indications. The mind is withdrawing inside. Be with it. Continue the practice. Now drop 3 mantra on 3 sides of a triangle. The breath goes in. Casually you drop without changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The breath is a car. The mind is sitting in, dropping. Reem, reem, reem. When it moves on a triangle. Each time when the breath goes in, each time when the breath comes out. Now return again to the only breath awareness. Stop the chanting, dropping of the mantra, remain in that same state. So again return, we are repeating to keep the mind to live within. The rest is done by the higher consciousness, nothing outside, including me. You look at the breath, you feel the breath, there is no change. Fourth point, the moment the breath goes in, look inside the space, look inside the belly in the space at any point. When the breath comes out, look inside the belly in the space at any point. The breath goes in. See the triangle inside the belly button. Breath comes out. See the triangle inside the belly button. It's a highly powerful meditation practice. Can we learn it in a day? No, it takes time. Practice, understanding. But every session will give you a deeper experiences of inner calm, freedom. Now move the breath and the mind together on a triangle inside the belly button. Every time the breath is going in, and every time the breath is coming out. It is the center of the will, the action. Our action should be guided, governed by the right perception, by the wisdom, by the positive emotion. So when the breath goes in, you see the one side of a triangle, you see the triangle, drop the mantra, Kleem, on one side of a triangle. Breath comes out, you see the triangle, drop, Kleem, on one side of a triangle every time breath goes in and comes out. With every breath in the mind moving in and out, you are dropping the mantra Kleem on one side, and yes, you remain aware of the other two sides also. Even when I'm talking to one of you, I'm aware of the other. Now drop two mantra on two sides of a triangle, clean, clean, but you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. That is the key. Continue. Breath goes into in, breath comes out to in. Now drop three clean, breath goes in, mind moves with it. You see the triangle. Clean, clean, clean. Breath comes out. Clean, clean, clean. And now do nothing. Remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. When you remain in the state of doing nothing, then you awaken to the inner and the heart consciousness in the state of calmness, peace. And you may have a vision of colors. Be with it. We don't. Let them come. Let them go. Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'm chanting to maximize the effect. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You need to do nothing. We return very naturally. First, bring your mind on the right hand and see, when I say you to bring your mind on the right hand, you may begin feeling the sensation. That is one learning. Bring the mind on the left hand. Lift both your palms, both your hands, put it on your eyes. Raise both your hands, put it on your eyes, covering the eyes with the palms. Open the eyes inside, know your experiences. Last but not the least, bring the hands down and we will share our experiences so that I can help you how to progress. Bring the hands down, you may sit up. How are you, Marina? What happened?
It's very hard for me to imagine. I still got a yangle.
You have started thinking. That is why we need to practice again and again. But thinking doesn't help.
But how you can imagine without thinking you're making it?
Do you have a husband?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
you need to imagine? I don't know how you need to imagine?
He's always there.
That's what I'm saying you. That's what I'm saying you. Do you know what the triangle is?
Of course.
Done. That's all. But the moment you start thinking...
I have to actually visualize this, I have to see this.
Again, this is the thinking part. My eyes are closed and you ask me, do you see the triangle? Yes. So what I see? When I say you to see inside the forehead, okay, mind is there. Nothing to think. Nothing to ask. Yes, mind is there. So now see the triangle. Oh, I know the triangle. It is there. That is the cause of the stress. That we think, and the thinking does not solve the problem, either of relationship, either of stress, either of anxiety. So mind has to get out of that thinking mode. Okay, think, imagine, focus on a water. So much so that a glass of water comes here. I am feeling thirsty. Can you do that?
No.
It will never happen. How much we imagine a glass of water, it will never come.
No, but at least maybe you can see it in your mind.
Huh?
Maybe you can see it, like visualize.
Why you want to see it? Why you want to focus and visualize it? Why you don't want to be normal, natural? Do you need to focus on me to watch me?
No.
If 6 feet figure you can watch naturally, what about the triangle? But so it is the mental pattern that I want to change, where I don't think. I simply see it, and it is there. Do I need to think again and again inside my mind? Oh, here is a Marina is a woman, here is a Marina. No. No, it is there. It is there. Where it is. You know where it is? It is inside the head that comes out. I'm not saying anything unusual. When I say you to look inside, I'm not saying anything unusual. The moment you start thinking, imagine, problem. Visualize, problem. Focus, problem. And one thing happened, that you tried to focus and your mind dropped into unconscious sleep. So even that practice is okay. You feel calm at least.
I feel very calm.
You feel very calm. Then it is okay. How are you, Nelly?
Oh, it's my first time. I mean, I don't expect much from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very nervous person to begin with. It's very difficult for me to relax or let the control, but I feel relaxed now. I can't imagine triangle. There is no way. I mean, I don't even know how to breathe correctly. I'm just like, I mean, that's the reason why I'm here. Because
but
I do have insomnia because I'm nervous. I'm nervous Nelly.
You see that? You see one point that you didn't move the body during the entire practice. That might have induced the relaxation. Your mind was about the body, but then mind was questioning. It is my first time. You had many doubt. Even my pronunciation, my language, words that I'm using, that was for the first time. But even then you feel relaxed.
I did.
Yeah. So it's a part of learning. You learn gradually. You don't earn $1 million in a single day. I'm not asking those people who are billionaires. And even Bill Gates, it took a couple of years. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Stanley, how are you?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
When you first